But what was going on up here, learning about the foots and just the general things that go on with this, or what were really important, and there were things that inevitably would help him more than I possibly could have. I remember there were plans too to never shot off of me. And I think one of them even came from my mom before I'd even suggested it. And I should bring him up here, even though he had triple seizures, we were gonna bring stuff up here to help him with that. And I should bring him up here and spend some time with him, and I should have. He would have been somebody that the Foots would have liked. And I believed that then, and I still do. But I can remember that still. It was all the way down through those woods right here. And it was raining, cats and dogs. Now all I had was just this crappy, like $9 poncho. And I remember going through that goddamn rain and just not thinking anything of it. And I got up to the top of that hill, the hill where I'd seen Grandpa at. Should have been a sacred location, really. And it was. I've never felt a place that felt like that. I guess that's why he was up there, probably sleeping. I remember that necklace was laying there. I still have the container that it was in, because I took it that day. I took that container back and I showed it to my aunt. Yeah, it was cracked open and the necklace had been removed out of it. And the blood that was on the sardine can. And I looked at that thing, and I looked at the necklace that was sitting there, and I guess because of the emotions, where I'd found out that my cousin had died. I think it might have even been the day before that. And the fact that I needed to get up there and get out, because my aunt, who was, one of my favorite people ever, huge. Real big part of my childhood, especially, and still is a big part of my life. Her and my two cousins and my uncle, second only to my own parents and siblings. And I knew that she was there at the house. I knew what time she was going to be there, and I wanted to be there. But first and foremost, prioritizing, because I believed it was almost like, as the Blues Brothers said, a mission from God. I was up here and I hiked. It was a good hour and 30-minute hike, something like that. It runs 45 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes, I think, depending on how chipper I'm feeling. And it was raining all over me, and I got up there and I found that necklace still there. It was sitting outside of the container, and it didn't strike me as odd then, because I was more ignorant, that the necklace had been bothered at all by a wild animal. It had been broken open from the bottom and not the top, and the top had been popped off. So you remember Mom saying that they had trouble with the Tupperware containers, and that's what that was. It was even a more difficult Tupperware container, because it didn't have the thumb things you could use to pop the lid off. But you could see that something had clearly bitten the bottom of it and broke it open and pulled the lid of it off. And the necklace was still there. And I remember just feeling a rage about this whole situation. This is when I was first meeting you. And I took the necklace and I was walking back with it, and I said I was gonna take it from her. I was gonna just either destroy it, or it was something, like along those lines. I was very angry. But I decided, as I was walking down, I cooled myself off, that it wouldn't be right to just steal jewelry from a what, you know, at the end of the day, was really just a 16-year-old girl. I think that's what she said. She was 15 or 16 at the time. And I didn't know her. I didn't know how they thought, what they were really like. I decided that was wrong. And I came down here, and I took that thing, and I shoved it down into this tree. I made a last-minute decision, and I shoved it right down in that damn thing, where nobody would ever find it. And I came back that next weekend after talking to my aunt. Of course, that day I was able to make it. I was able to show her, you know, the wonder of the fact that something had destroyed that container that had the necklace in it. And I was able to tell her part of the story, but I wasn't able. I don't think I've ever told her the story of how things really are. And I think she understands the way that the world works better than what most people do. You know, they say that the people that live up here, first and foremost, what's always on their mind is God, and then secondly is family, and third's work, and they don't really think of anything other than that, and that's true. So maybe the people up in this area are more accepting of you know, the woo-woo things, the woo-woo ways of life. The fact of the matter, way of things, I believe that, but I don't think I've told her exactly how it's gone. How the Sasquatch can, these people that didn't fall, can hear your thoughts. I know everything you think, and they know who you are. And oftentimes seems like to me that the relationships that you form with these people, a lot of times you knew that person before you were both even born. Just like what that lady with that one foot, I can't remember his name now. He was shorter and had a hot temper, I remember. He'd bluff a lot. She said that with his wife, that she'd definitely known her from before they were born, and that's a phenomenon that extends much further than the Bigfoot phenomena would go. And it's a strange coincidence that that aspect of the concept of reincarnation came up in that book.